Now, we know we live in a toxic world and we can't live in a bubble.
Right.
And, we can reduce our toxic exposure to a certain extent, like you mentioned. But how do we support our bodies to detoxify? Because even if we try to eat clean, even if we eat organic, there may be some, GMO spray or, toxins from the rain or whatever. So we're not, 100% clean, even if we try. So how do we support our bodies to remove those toxins?
That's a great question, Dr. B, because, that's the balancing out part, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do our best to eliminate, but now we also have to step into what can we do to support that. So, think about the ways that our body detoxes. First we've got these, hair follicles inside of our nose, right? That's kind of like the first filtering mechanism that comes into our body. There's also the cilia inside of our lungs that are, trapping the toxins. We've got the digestive system. We have the lymphatic system, we have the liver and the kidneys. We've got this beautiful, the blood, the skin. These are all great mechanisms of our body to really detox and do its job, but it needs support, right? So number one is we want to make sure, sorry,
Okay.
we're not overloading the liver, right? So we can do things like eliminating alcohol or reducing alcohol. When we drink a lot of alcohol, that we're taxing the liver that's already taxed with another job, and it cannot detox anymore because it's having to metabolize all of that alcohol that's coming into our system. So we can eliminate that. We can drink more water. Our body needs that water to be able to flush everything. We can sweat, get out and sweat every day. There's so many things that we can do that are absolutely free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sweat, get out and sweat so that your body has a way to eliminate those. You could do, fill up a bathtub and put a half a cup of Epsom salts and a half a cup of baking soda in it, and you will sweat. And you can do that for 20 minutes and then go rinse off in the shower, so you get everything off the body. You can do things like dry brushing to really get the lymphatic system moving. We want to dry brush, and ladies, that helps your cellulite as well. So double bonus with that. We can rebound. Jumping on a little mini trampoline is really good for the lymphatic system. So these are some really easy things that we can incorporate into our daily routine that are really going to help that body do its natural function and natural job.
How do you feel about coffee enemas?
I'm 7 years into my journey, and I gotta say, I've not allowed I'm like, enema, I'm sorry. This is like an exit only point for me.
Okay.
But I've heard amazing things. And I have a lot of people in my world that do those. I cannot speak firsthand about it because I'm like,
right.
And we all get to that point where we are, because there's things that I do today 7 years ago that I would have never done.
Right. I totally, I hear you. All right. So how does somebody know if they've reached that point of toxic overload? Even if they're trying to eliminate things, sometimes, those symptoms will show up.
Absolutely. So our body is really, really good at giving us signals. It's whether we're going to listen to what the body is telling us, right? So some of the very first symptoms we get that stuff is building up in the body is a change in body odor. That's one of the first things that happens. So do you change, do you have a shift in your BO, your body odor, your mouth, you will smell a difference in your body odor, and maybe somebody else will notice it. That's one of the early signs that we have things accumulating in the body. Also, when we talk about body, is we might have a change in skin condition. So for instance, if we had oily skin, we now have dry skin, or we had dry skin, but now we've delved over to more oily skin. These are some of the early signs that we have going on that the toxins are building up in our system. You can get not sleeping right, whether that's insomnia, we can't fall asleep, brain fog, are all signs that the toxins are building up in our system, as well as digestive issues. Now, many times by the time we get to those digestive issues, as you know, we've got a lot of toxins built up in the body, right? You know, and we're talking bloating, diarrhea, constipation. Do you burp a lot? Do you have a lot of gas? You know, are you, you know, one of those, you know, people, and ladies, we don't like to say that we pass gas, but if we got a lot of toxins in our body, we probably do, you know, or need to. So those are some of the things that'll happen.
So, what are some of the first things that people should look at in their home to be able to reduce their toxic exposure?
I would say the first thing I would do is eliminate synthetic fragrance. You know, it was such a huge, because it's a neurotoxin, it's a respiratory toxin. It is just a huge factor for so many people that is one of the prime things that you can do. And so what we want to do is we want to just, you know, we take our food and we turn it around, right? And we're looking at fat, we're looking at calories, we're looking at sugar, carbohydrates. We need to do the same thing with our personal care products. Turn it around and read those labels. If you see fragrance or perfume, ditch it. Eliminate it out and buy something that is fragrance free. Unscented, still has the fragrance in it and more chemicals added to cover up the fragrance. So fragrance free is what we're looking for.
That's excellent. And a great website too that I've always recommended to our community is Environmental Working Group.
Yes.
You can check your cosmetics, you can look for clean sunscreens, you know, foods, all kinds of things there. So it's a great website.
Another one too that I really, really like, because EWG has an app that you can download on your phone, and it's called Healthy Living. Now, they've missed the mark in some things. They don't have as many database on there. There's one called Think Dirty. Do you guys have that in Canada?
Well, I'm in Naples, Florida.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Anyways, there's an app called Think Dirty. And this one is specifically for all of the personal care products, the cleaning products, the makeup, all of that stuff you can type in. And here's the great thing about using an app. I used an app when I first began. And not only are you going to get a safety rating from 0 to 10, 0 meaning very clean, 10 meaning not. In my home, it has to have a 3 or under in order for it to come into the home. But it tells you what makes it have the rating, whether it's good or bad, and it tells you the actual ingredients. So you will start learning. You will start getting to know exactly what it is that you want to avoid and what is okay to have.
That's awesome.